Hey, Service Nation. So excited to be with you today. We just had our live event for our Next Level and Millionaire Mastermind folks. And I got to tell you, we had so much fun. While I was gone, I think we had my wife and maybe Lindsay. We had the team serving you guys and gals. So hopefully you dug that. But all that to say, I am so glad to be back. And it's funny, a lot of what we talked about at the event comes down to what we're going to talk about today, which is who you have to be to build $1 million service company. And we talk a lot about what you have to do and how to do it. And that's all super important. But until we have you as the owner being the person that you need to be, all the how in the world ain't going to do it. So really, hey, Jessica's here. She was actually at our event with us. And speaking of women or people that really grew as who they are. Jessica was a rock star. We actually did a live role play and we get to see her grow in front of our very eyes. It was so much fun. So today we're going to try and share a little bit of that fun and flavor and what we got there with you guys. The problem is so many of you, and I know because I coach you, are so focused on what you have to do, the secrets of building a service company, which, like I said, is important, but you miss the truth of who you have to be, which is just infinitely more important. So the cost is they end up working harder, they make less money, and sadly, eventually that leads to burnout, which sucks. And burnout really is just the loss of your hopes and dreams because you did it and did it and did it and did it, and it didn't get what you want. You finally give up. And then unfortunately, then we do self-reflection and start thinking about ourselves. Well, I wasn't good enough. I this or I that, as opposed to what could have I done right. So we are going to figure out today exactly who you need to be to build $1 million service company. Because we've got to kill this. If I just did the magic right things, if someone just told me to do A, B, and C, I would win or I could build the company. But the reality is it's who you are. I said this a lot of times during our live event when we were kind of role playing. I was like, don't write down the words that I said. There's no magic in them. Look at who I was and how I felt and who I showed up as. That person and how you show up is much more important than the words. So I want to try and help you guys, gals, humans out there show up as the right person that can be super, super successful, because it starts with you, starts with your thoughts and beliefs, which flows to your actions. And the actions obviously flow to results. But we start with actions to get with results. We got to really start with who you are first, which affects the actions, and then we get the results. So 3 steps on how to be who you need to be, the 3 things you need to be. Good thing is they're not easy, but they are simple. No one's going to go, I don't get this, I can't be that. And my camera is just getting wonky. I don't know what happened. It keeps focusing in and out for those of you that are with me on video. All right, so number 1, this is a big one. Ladies, gentlemen, be all out committed to success. For those of you who are mildly interested in growing a cleaning company or a service company or an electric company, whatever you're doing, that's going to be a problem. If you're like, I'll do it as long as I don't have to step out of my comfort zone, as long as I don't have to do anything scary, as long as I don't have to do anything I don't want to do, this is not for you. Entrepreneurship is not the path. For me, and yours might be a little different, but for me, it is anything that's legal and ethical and moral. That's it. I'll do anything within that. If it's a lot of, well, I don't want to work too much or grow as a person or take any class or invest in myself or step out of my comfort zone or do anything I don't want to do, it's going to be tough. So you've got to be all out committed to success. The way that you do that is you see everything in light of your success, the why behind the what. So that, again, another important thing that people skip is they just go, I want to be rich and famous. So I want to have a service company that pays all my bills and I don't have to work anymore. Until we get the why behind that, it's really, really tough. So some of my clients might be saying, I want to have an automated funnel that gets me all the clients I want. The problem is that's a big pain in the butt. So we have to kind of dive into, why do you want that automated funnel? How do you perceive your life's going to be different? And that might get into, well, I feel like right now I'm doing too many things and my wife's working and she's stressed out and she's afraid I'm not going to be able to be successful. Well, that's a bigger why. So just wanting an automated funnel, a lot of us won't do the work to get that. But if it's like, I want to get my wife out of working or have her not stressed out about money, that might be enough, right? So you want to kind of put everything in perspective of, what will it look and feel like when I get this, and really be clear on your why, because the why behind the what is going to fuel or not fuel you making the change you need to do. The way that we do that is only ask questions that get you where you want to go. I was just literally talking to a Millionaire Mastermind yesterday, and one of the guys was talking about some technical issues he had on building his funnel. And it was a frustrating thing. He had some sort of card had happened, and I don't know if this has happened to you, where your bank's like, "Hey, that card has been compromised. We're going to send you out a new card." And you're like, "I've got 27 auto debits coming out of that card. I got to call them all. It sucks." So he was kind of focusing on that, and we refocused to, okay, where do you want to go, and are you committed to that? And the answer was, he was clear on where do you want to go, and he's super committed. So it's like, okay, spending a bunch of time on how do we get these auto debits fixed and what a big pain. None of that was helpful, right? Because he was asking questions that would take him away. Why is this so hard? Why did the bank do this? Why is this such a pain? As opposed to, is this even close to what I'm willing to pay to get the result that I want? How awesome is this, that, you know, if this is the worst thing that happens for me to get me where I want to go, fantastic. Is this actually going to hurt me and my ability to get my goal? So if the quality of the questions that you ask is going to impact your committedness. So if you ask questions like, what if this doesn't work? What if my friends don't like me? How will I feel if this fails? You're going to chip away at your committedness. If you ask other questions like, what will feel like when this succeeds? How far am I from even giving up? Like Thomas Edison famously was asked, like, you know, hey, how does it feel after spending years not, you know, failing at creating a light bulb? He said, I haven't failed at all. I've just created like 9,000 ways it won't work. And he was very close to actually creating it. So the question they were asking, how does it feel succeeding after trying so hard, was going to kill his commitment. But he was so committed. He was already who he was. And he was like, I don't see it like that at all. I see it as exactly, this is the journey that I took. And look how much farther I am than I was before. The way that you frame questions makes a big difference. So never give up, get curious, right? So giving up would go, yeah, I've tried for 10 years to make a light bulb. I don't know how to do it. I give up. Curiosity would be like, wow, I found 9,000 ways that don't work to make a light bulb. I wonder if I'll figure it out 9,001 or if it'll be 20,000. What will that feel like, right? So as opposed to giving up and judging yourself, we want to go to Curious Town. So it's so easy for us to slip into, well, everyone else who's successful had lucky breaks, right? That's another great way to kill our commitment, is just make up stories like, well, you don't understand. My clients are different. That guy's better looking or had more money or blah, 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 blah. The truth is, everybody who had a different response or a different outcome than you is because of how everyone's got a different outcome than you, responded differently to the circumstances than you would have, and they responded differently because they believe differently. So it's really important that we get our beliefs set first. And those beliefs are, I believe I'm going to succeed. I believe whatever problems come up, I'm going to be equipped to handle it. And I'm not going to focus on the problems. I'm going to focus on the outcome. That is what's going to get you where you want to go. So even though some of you, I can hear you out there going, you don't understand. I don't have, I wasn't born rich. I didn't go to college. I'm ugly. I'm, tall, short, whatever the case may be. The reality is, and this is a writer downer, it is never about resources. It is always about resourcefulness. I'm going to say that again because it's really important. It's never about resources. It's always about resourcefulness. If it was always about resources, the rich would always be rich and the poor would always be poor. But most of the millionaires in the United States are first generation rich. How can that possibly be if it's about resources, right? And a lot of times, the first generation will earn the money, the second generation will spend the money, and the third generation will be broke again and have to start over. So hopefully you guys are seeing, it doesn't have to do with your circumstance. It has to do with your responses to your circumstances and your beliefs. So as opposed to, again, just a perfect example, I don't have any money, therefore I can't succeed. That is a great way to guarantee you will never succeed. You could also choose, since I don't have very much money now, I'm going to have to do X and Y to succeed. Or I'm going to have to find someone that also started broke and see what he or she did, right? Or I've tried 20 times and failed before, just like Thomas Edison. So therefore I can't succeed. Or I found a bunch of ways that don't work and I'm going to move forward. So that brings us to step 2. So the number one thing you need to be is committed and focused on what's going to work. Number 2, and committed to what's going to work, not committed to what won't work. Number 2 is coachable. We've got to be coachable. So many of us are just, and I used to be this way. This is why it frustrates me to see y'all show up like this, is this crazy belief that there's just one way to look at stuff. Things are black or white. But the reality is, very few things in life are black or white, right? We're all going to die. That's black or white. What's going to happen between now and then is very different, right? Gravity works regardless of our beliefs around it. But that's very few things in our life. Most of the things are just perception of reality, right? So, I hear a lot, no one wants to work these days, especially COVID, right? Oh, the government's paying everybody. The reality is no one's ever inspired them to work before, right? Or inspired them to contribute their best. So, we go, people want the best price, or we could ask, how can I bring more value? He's just lucky versus what did he do that I could do, right? So that coachability and that changeability. When you're dogmatic and like, I know everything and I'm committed to my truth and that's the way it's going to be, that's the first step of death. Unless you already know everything, which you don't, nor do I. That's a first step in the wrong direction. So we can't believe that you and I know everything. As soon as we stop growing and learning, that's when we start dying as leaders and entrepreneurs. And then as soon as we start dying, our business doesn't have a chance. And I'll tell you guys, I get paid lots and lots of money to coach. I'm still investing in my mastermind group that I pay $50,000 a year to be a member of, because I understand that I'm going to learn till I die, right? At no point will I have amassed all the information in the universe and all the experiences I need. So we got to get off of, there's just one truth and I'm pragmatic and whatever I believe is it, and realize there's multiple ways to look at stuff. We got to get off of, I know everything. It's so funny with my 5-year-old, he'll constantly just be not trusting what I say. And it's like, son, if you just would listen, you learn a lot faster. And the other thing is, smart people are born smart. It drives me nuts sometimes when I'll go do a live event. People are like, wow, you're so good on stage. How do you do that? Or how do you're so comfortable? How do I want to become, I would be terrified. And guess what? I sucked and I was terrified and I did it poorly, right? And you just do it poorly and you got to be okay with sucking for a while to get better, right? That's stepping outside of your comfort zone. So don't believe smart people were born smart or capable people were born capable. Capable people probably just asked more questions than you asked and probably were willing to look stupid for longer than you were. And that's how you get capable. All that kind of adds up to, I don't need coaching. I know what I'm talking about. The reality is the best basketball players, golfers in the world have coaches, right? And a lot of times they're better at the thing that they're getting coached at than their coach, but they can't have that self-awareness, right? So the reality of the situation is, if you're already getting the results that you need in a specific area of your life, that would be correct. You don't need coaching in that area. And again, not the best results, because if you want the best results, you always need coaching, period. But if you're already getting the results that you want, right? So then you don't need coaching in that area. But the reality is, if you're not getting the results that you want in certain areas, right? So the guy or gal that I might take as a coach for my health, I'm not going to listen to about money, perhaps. And the guy that I'm going to listen to about money, I might not listen to about how to raise my kids or how to be a good husband, right? So we got to understand there's no such thing as just like, I don't like that thing as a life coach. Like, what is that? I don't need a life coach. I already know how to live. I'm living right now. But a business coach, a marriage coach, a sports coach, a health coach, a relationship coach, a whatever, something specific. So if you're not getting results that you want in any area of your life, business or otherwise, the fastest way to get there is to model someone who is getting the results that you want in that area of their life, right? So if that's what drives me nuts, I'll go to the gym and I'll see big fat trainers. I'm like, who's going to listen to that guy? You should at least be in shape if you're going to be a trainer, right? So the fastest way to get the results that you want in any area of your life is to find someone that has already gotten the results that you want in that area, right? So again, there are very, very wealthy people whose lives I would not want. I wouldn't take one iota of coaching of how to be a dad or how to be a husband from them, but I would listen to them about how to make money. And there's some people that I would never listen to about money. They're broke, but they're great husbands or great fathers, and I would definitely want their coaching there. So the fastest way to get the results that you're not getting is find someone that's done it and model what they're doing. That's why franchises are so expensive. They're like, hey, we've spent millions of dollars figuring out how to do this wrong. You can pay us tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands and we'll teach you how to do it right. So first thing we need to be to have $1 million mindset and have to be a $1 million service business owner is committed, all out committed to success. Number 2 is coachable. Number 3, this one you might not have seen coming. Be decisive, right? If I had to pick traits, certainly committed is it. The people that are going to give up, I don't even take as clients because we can't help them. If you want the easy pill and be like, just tell me what to do, and without having to work or stress or grow or do anything hard, I got no answers for you. But the people that are coachable and committed, the one thing that they need is decisiveness. All we do as owners are make decisions, period. The reality is, the people that struggle, and it's not just that they struggle with the results, their lives are miserable, are the people that think things over. I've got to talk to my grandmother and her cousin and his cat and his cat's girlfriend and blah, 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 blah. It's a miserable way to live. I would rather see you make a decision that was wrong and go forward in one direction than do nothing, right? I'm constantly saying you can't steer a parked car. A lot of people are like, if I don't move this thing, I can't make a wrong decision. True, but you're guaranteed to get nowhere. So really important. I'd rather you start the car and go in the wrong direction. And you're like, well, I'm going the opposite way. It'd be better if I stayed still. Not at all. If you're staying still, you don't even know what's going on. If you're going the wrong direction, pretty quick, you're going to go, oh, wait a sec, something's wrong. And you'll be able to turn around. But if you're just standing still, nothing will ever happen, right? And if you don't believe me, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, he did a study over 500 millionaires back in like the 20s when being a millionaire meant something. And he found the number one quality that they shared wasn't, and I would have guessed, committedness or never give upness or coachability or some of the things I talked about. It was decisiveness. Not only did they make decisions quickly and confidently, they changed them slowly. And he didn't say they made better decisions than other people, because that's like, well, that's hard. I don't know if I can make it. He just said they were more decisive. So you'll actually, from what that research shows me, is you'll actually do better making more definitive decisions, even if they're wrong, than making less decisions that are perfect, right? If you make 2 decisions a day that are perfect and put off 1,000 other decisions, you'll do worse than making 1,002 decisions. Just be like, this is the way we're going to go. And especially as a leader, right? If you're like, I don't know, I've got to think, I'm not sure, it's going to kill you. So the good news is, yeah, poor people, by the way, decide things very slowly, and they change their decisions often. Rich people make decisions quickly, and they're slow to change them. So sometimes the good news is this is a skill just like anything else. Some people believe like, same thing, that guy was good on stage or good at selling or whatever skill. We think they were just born that way. Not the truth. They've worked towards that. Being decisive is the same thing. So it breaks my heart to hear people go, I'm just not decisive. Fine, I get you, be what you want, but I'd rather hear you say, I've chosen not to be decisive. I've decided not to be decisive, right? We can start there. It's a muscle just like everything else. Like me going, I don't have a lot of muscle. That's sure, but I could go build it, right? Same with decisiveness. I'm not decisive now, but I can be. So it is a skill just like every other skill. And the beauty of the decisiveness is you can decide right now to be decisive. And you just got to be okay with, hey, sometimes no matter how much you think things through and how many stones you turn over and how many rabbit trails you go off on, you're still going to make bad decisions. So you will do better to be decisive and confident. And again, the best way to learn, imagine Thomas Edison. We keep going back to that same example. If he was afraid to make a decision, he would have never made the 9,000 mistakes it took to figure it out, right? He would have just kept staying still. So you will always do much, much better being decisive, making bad decisions, lots of decisions, and learning from them than doing nothing. So those are the 3 things that you got to be, believe it or not, all in committed to success, coachable, willing to model things that have worked and willing to change, and decisive, right? Once you're those 3 things, the good news is, if we can give you every single, here's exactly what to do and how to do it in every circumstance, but you're the wrong person, you're still going to struggle. If you're the right person, you have those qualities, even if you don't have the skills of what to do, you'll pick them up because you're decisive and coachable and all in committed. So it's kind of cool. If you can start here, I promise your business will grow. And I always tell people that come into our program, we tricked you. We pretended like we were going to teach you how to grow a business. The reality is we're going to teach you how to grow you. And once we do that, then we'll teach you how to grow the business, and it's super easy. But if we don't grow you first, it's not going to work. So the good news is, once you develop these skills to be committed, be decisive, be coachable, not only will you be far more successful in your service business, you'll build a successful life. So the cool thing is that these traits don't serve you well in business, but they're going to hurt your family. Quite the opposite. I believe successful husbands, wives, parents, brothers, sisters, friends are very decisive and very coachable and very resourceful decisive, coachable, and committed to everything. Resourcefulness is good, but we're not covering that today. All right. So once you get that, it doesn't just help you with your business, it helps you with your life. If this is scratching where you're itch, you're like, yes, I need that. We have a whole community of service owners that you can join. Go to growmyservicecompany.com. As of now, I don't think we got anything for sale. We'll just probably invite you to join our Facebook group. My book's just about out. You can get access to that. And we'll email you with stuff when we've got things. So go to growmyservicecompany.com, join the community, let us know how we can serve you, or follow us on Instagram. I think it's just instagram.com/growmyservicecompany. Give me a shout out if you just message me going, hey man, I subscribed to your podcast, or I dug your show, I referred a friend, or whatever the case may be. We'll send you a free copy of my book, I'm a Freaking Genius, Why Is This Business So Hard? And see if we can help you grow your service company. So that's it, guys, gals. Hopefully that was helpful. Talk soon.